a lot of morale boost, right? And they're going to have a decent playing path. I mean, it doesn't really matter too much where playing path goes. I mean, this one matters slightly for Loops because it means they can immediately get into boot camp. But I wonder, will any other team challenge them there other than Tribe? Will someone else be like, okay, Tribe isn't there, and we could potentially win over Loops? But you see Loops come second at Erringle, you're like, well, actually, Loops having a good day. And in Pmpl, as we're starting to equal all the scores now, you don't really want to fall behind. So if you're one of the teams on 100 points, not towards that 200 points cap at the top of the leaderboard, you might want to desist from going to boot camp and maybe just give that to Loops, which is exactly what's going on here. Omen's going down towards the southwest island, and the first circle is all the way off to the east. I don't think we've had a cruel circle on Sandhook as of yet, which is a little bit disappointing.
No, not just, well, to be fair, I'm quite appointed by it, to be honest.
Okay.
I think it's nice. On Sandhook, it is so naturally chaotic that I don't think you need to throw another spanner in there. Otherwise, you'd have a box of spanners and not really much to do.
Well, you know, from Dodgeball, I'm like the guy. I'm just like throwing spanners at people. Yeah, I've got about 100 spanners all ready and prepped. Observer Rolex already. I mean, I think you are right. I mean, just from the beginning here, it's already chaotic as it is. Levi already under fire from Alpha 7, and you can already hear all the bullets firing off. People have barely picked up weapons, by the way.
Loops did drop boot camp, and no one was there to try and contest them. So they'll be all right for now. Cloud9 have Paradise Resorts. I mean, that's pretty standard. That's their normal drop tempo over in Pine Narn. Quarry being split loot by Ace 1 right now. So they're going to have control of some of that area of ground. However, they might want to regroup pretty sharpish, as there's a lot of teams to the west. There's a lot of teams out in the northwest on that southwest island as well. And they'll have to try and make that crossing pretty soon.
Yeah, this split's good though, because you see where Kinobara, he's off on the east side, right? So he's scouting for the team on the eastern side. You also have Paralyze and Nunes, both on either side of the top of Quarry, so they're scouting up towards the north side. Their biggest threat right now is Tremco and Furakawa, who are making their way down from the north, as you mentioned beforehand. We're looking at Cloud9 on the screen. You know, one thing that Cloud9 are really good at is eking their way into the top of the leaderboard towards the end in terms of standings. Really, they're only getting themselves like 10 points at a time, but it's kind of like a man dying of thirst coming across like a puddle now and again. And he's like slurping up and like, I will live on. I will carry on this journey. So, I mean, C9 are definitely putting themselves in a position where they can surely springboard it forward, and they're not falling too far behind so far. So I think if there's one thing to praise them for, it's definitely that. I think that they're kind of like, quite some screen right now. Bench that thought for the time being.
Loops, they've moved southeast and they've run into Omen Elite to try to loot around, and Juicy just gets taken down. Loops already with an early kill in Sandhawk. Fair enough. These guys are really wanting that chicken dinner now. They've tasted it, they smelt it, as you say. There was the warm apple pie on the window, but they weren't quite able to get all the way there and snaffle it down.
No, not as of yet. Taking control of this area from Loops is really strong. It's exactly what I said on the desk as well. It's that eastern mountain side. Well, it's not a mountain, but on that hillside, right, where you can get a lot of information come through and just move up. There's so much hard cover in terms of the rocks up there and some tree lines to hide behind. So it's a very, very powerful spot. So going forward, I think Loops have already put themselves in a fantastic position to get themselves forward in this game. Circle's currently on them. We're waiting for the next one to pop shortly.
North side, currently off the southwestern island, is what we're focusing on. Mazex is trying to make their crossing on the bridge. They want to move down south. They don't want to try and contest Pittsburgh Knights up on the bridge on the northern side, so they are going to rotate around a little bit wider. Looks like they're going to have a little bit of luck with it too. Grunto not quite able to get those angles, maybe not even aware of that presence. They are sending across in a vehicle as well, so it should be known pretty soon on the bike. And should be loud enough, but they make their way across. They've still got a way to go.
There's a little bit of a path ahead of them. They've got Grunto directly in front of them as well that they have to worry about. These are two teams towards the bottom of the leaderboard, so I can see that fight going either way right now. Cold2 taking shots onto Cloud9, but immediately Cloud9, they return fire with a QBZ, that weapon with the fast fire. NF7 likes that gun, indeed. It makes it, I think it's got probably one of the most satisfying sounds in the game.
It is pretty nice. It's pretty chunky on the sprays, but Cold2, two players very, very low there. Cloud9 get the better end of the stick on that fight, but you don't really want to be taking it for too long. Tremcareta Furacao ready and waiting to go for it as well. If they hear that fight coming through, third party time is on.
Yeah, I mean,
they'll try and ride that party bus all the way.
Yeah, I mean, the longer they stay here, the worse things get. And the issue is, there's not really a break that either team can make towards the west or the east. They kind of have to take this fight. So what they're worried about is, like I say, Tremcareta Furacao making their way up, as well as Lazarus and Wildcard, who are both to the north right now, moving their way down, but they will hit Kultu first. Cloud9, I think, need to, within all the confusion and chaos, slip away undetected. That would be my biggest advice right now. Obviously, these guys are pro players. They might have other ideas, so I'm interested to see what they do next.
So if they take your big advice?
Yeah, I would say that. So it's mild advice.
Okay, medium-sized advice. But
medium-sized advice.
Might need some advice for themselves as well, as they're coming into a little bit of a scrap, but no one really moving too far at this stage. It's only 3 teams are currently out of the zone. Pittsburgh Knights all the way up in the north, and Mezexis and Grunto down the south. Hang on a minute, B4, I didn't even spot them. They're blending in. They were camouflaged down right on the south side near Camp Charlie.
I mean, Miraz is down there as well, alongside with him, the Shark of the Water. But I wonder if B4 might just spot him out and take him down. There is a fight already taking place between Alpha 7 and Open Elite.
That's not much of a fight anymore. Alpha 7 basically just lose 2, and that's the end of that. It's unfortunate, but sometimes that's just the way it goes. Open Elite hold onto their compound on the junction.
Lazarus and Wildcard currently taking a fight towards the northern side, so they've met up together, clashed. So the sparks are flying from that side, so Cloud9 will be able to hold on for a little bit longer. They will get a little bit of information. They know that some players towards their north side, as well as Kultu being there. So they're starting to get crunched in right now, a vice of teams upon them. And that's where really all the action is, just to the east, south side of Paradise Resort. Pittsburgh Knights, like you're saying, they're playing very much edge right now. They're all the way up in Cow Tap Mock area. Already so many fights coming through. Lazarus versus Wildcard.
Wildcard were already trying to take this fight onto the compound that Lazarus pretty firmly held, and 2 of them went down near the wall. Enigma's still getting picked up, trying to control those sight lines and see what they could do. I think that was Emraz just on the south side for B4, going to be able to take down that outpost for Mezexis. So they lose that pressure. Lazarus actually just going to escape from this compound. They don't want to. They don't want to continue to hold it. Or one of them is. Maybe Russell's just going out for a flank.
Yeah, I think Russell's taking a side swipe here. Nice nade though come through from Spring, and now that side swipe is heavily weakened because they really have to put some effort on taking that player down. If they don't know that Russell's on that side, potentially have a chance here. But Russell needs to do something and do it fast. Minwoo is in a terrible spot.
Just to try and get something done through 2 windows. The nade flies. Spring, I think he might have an inkling that someone's on the flank. They haven't quite fully flushed out Minwoo just yet, but pretty much only a matter of time at this stage for Wildcard. They have managed to claim one of the buildings there. Spring goes in, and that is the flush, so kill found for now. But Lazarus still have that off angle. They still have their outpost. They can escape if they need to.
It's a tricky situation for Minwoo there. He has to hold down one compound by himself whilst Russell makes his way out to the eastern side. As soon as he loses that compound, Russell's eastern side flank just completely goes to pot because now Wildcard can actually infiltrate the compounds. So I think Lazarus have pretty much lost this fight now. Unless Wildcard completely whiffs, they shouldn't lose this. Lolo, however, 4v1 on a angle. Let's see if he can do something just as magical here on Sandhawk.
Oh, that was bold from Slicky, just jumping straight into the window. It'll be alright for him for now, and a nice nade. That's so unfortunate for Lolo. That's going to be another kill found for Wildcard. They continue to step it up, but I don't think they know quite where he is, but they'll find him out soon enough. 2 players now standing. I don't think Russell wants to push back towards this fight, neither does Irish, but he is going to get spotted, and in fact, in the process, give up Russell's position, so that's going to be unfortunate.
Yeah, this is what I'm talking about, is that it's a bold play from Lazarus, and I respect the play. Don't get me wrong, I respect the play so much, but it's so risky. You take that compound, like I said, Minwoo loses that, it all goes wrong. Now Russell's going down, Iris is just legging it away as fast as bloody possible, and Wildcard come out on top there. But Pittsburgh Knights, they may have heard all this action. Remember, they were on the northern side as well, so they might just be able to pick up Wildcard, who have taken a really offensive outpost outside the compound. This could be disastrous for them.
Well, the thing is, though, for Wildcard, they're going to have to continue to push south, so they might just couple up the movement with the fight and see what they can do. In fact, remove that possibility from happening. It seems like that's the way it's going to go. Irish just beat in a hasty retreat, trying to stay alive now. Cloud9, they're making a westerly rotation.
Like I said, John.
On the north side of the circle.
Yeah, like I said, as soon as all that confusion and chaos comes through, slip away unnoticed, find yourself a compound. That's exactly what's happened. Kultu is left also. So it was big advice. It was big advice.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, not medium-sized. I'm happy with that. You know
We've
what?
supersized the advice.
You've supersized my advice there at Cloud9. It made me feel good about myself. I appreciate it, you know. Ace 1 Harvard at dead centre. Cocky little team, that one. I'm happy with it. You know, it's probably one of my favourite little storylines coming through. This one, they're no bother. They're just trying to improve, and they're taking the firefights while they can. I was talking to Glitter earlier today, actually, whilst in rehearsals. She was like, best way to learn any game is just to throw yourself into a really treacherous situation, and one with the most odds against you, and then just learn from there. And I think Ace would have taken that advice on board somewhat, really.
I mean, fair enough. They've been doing all right today. You've certainly seen them pop up in the kill feed. They started the day down in 19th. They managed to climb up to 16th for now, so see how much further they can go. So three-place improvement, that's not bad.
Yeah, it's steady away, John. It's not too bad as long as you start climbing those rungs on the ladder one step at a time. That's good enough. The next circle getting ever so close. I remember Sandhawk, a very, very small map, so every time the circle does pop on the map, it is going to further increase the amount of firefights that are going to come through. Unlike on Miramar there, where we saw Pmpl being able to take up residence for so long, here, those circles technically are much smaller as the game proceeds onwards.
Circle's going to be crunching in just a bit. Northeastern side, you can see Irish has hunkered down and actually found a little bit of a hidey hole there. Which might keep them safe for now, but we'll have to push in later again. So we'll see where the circle pops. Cloud9, they've got a lot of this northern swathe of the circle covered off. Tempo controlling a lot of the ground around that western quarry rotation. And in fact, that next circle could prove to be pretty tricky. I mean, we saw them hold off a push against a lot of teams before, but we'll see if they can do it again.
Yeah, Kalara's cursing these teams. He's like, you know what, I want to see something really treacherous. I want to see something awful. I want to see a circle that you trip over if it was lying around the house, and that's exactly what we've got here. Quarry really denies a lot of the area already. So does the little river and water towards the southern side of the map, as well as cave, difficult to play around. If we get a cave finish, I'm going to be wildly happy. That'll be fun to watch. It'll be entertaining to say the least, if not for the players.
This is a very similar circle to the one we saw, I think it was 2 days ago. Not yesterday, last show day anyway. But it was a very similar area, so a lot of these teams should be pretty familiar with it, except for, of course, the Group B team.
Yeah, Ace 1, however, will be super familiar with this spot as it is their landing zone, so they should know this area like the back of their own hand. If they don't, something's wrong. So this is a really good opportunity for them to kind of get towards a higher ranking. Still, Circle 3, still 16 teams on board, however, we still have 9 members, sorry, I take it back, 9 members who have currently gone down in the game already.
Down to 55, but still plenty more to go. Cloud9 all the way on the northern side have to push through. Trent Garetta Furacao and choose a side of the quarry to go through. Everyone's sort of skirted away from Tempo Storm. No one really going to challenge them for the outside of the west on that circle for the next time around. Azexis, they've been spotted out. Darius very, very low. On the south side, B4, you can see him moving around, and it's only a matter of time here. B4, the Sharks circling. I'm just going to be able to get that. There we go. Finish it off. One more to find.
Yeah, they make it look pretty simple, don't they, B4? I think that they have just steadily racked up the heat in terms of their play. That's Mazexis out in 16th there. A little bit unfortunate. Tempo still in this game. Winners from last in Miramar. They're heading towards the western side of Quarry. Loops, however, have moved down. They still have a good control, though, just outside of Quarry area. Federal actually scouting out over the other side of Quarry, just using those fences to his advantage, kind of popping up and down again, you'd imagine. An ace on the other side. We do have a fight coming through from Alpha 7 and Grunto. but I think that one will be short-lived. There's only Mitek down there.
Yeah, there's only one player against 4. Oh, there we go. Yeah, fair enough. Just run straight over. They are going to continue to go forwards. We'll see what they can do from the southwestern side. Grunto not having the best run so far into this tournament. It's been a little bit chaotic for them, and we'll have to see if they can pick up their feet. I mean, we're just under a third of the games played total for this tournament, so I mean, it is starting to become a little bit more precise as to how you are going to have to push up.
Yeah, so here we go. Screen about to get a whole lot smaller, ladies and gents. Wait for it, drum roll please, and goodness gracious me.
Wow.
Wow. You know when I said that that's something to trip over in your house earlier on, that type of circle? Yeah. This is one that you can seriously injure yourself on. This is one where I'd be very annoyed if I saw it laying around.
This is the sort of one where if you left it at work, it would be
a hazard.
It would be a hazard. You'd need to put up signage. You'd need to do all of that. It's unreal.
I'd be slipping if there was no signage there. Let's just put it that way. Loops over on the western side, still holding strong, but they've got Tempo and Grunto. Tempo to the north and Grunto to the south. So they're about to have a lot of fire coming their way very shortly, and that's the problem with Sandhawk, is sometimes, John, you do have to fight a couple of teams at the same time. On your loops, you do have center circle, but you also have so many teams barreling it around you.
It's going to be real tricky, and it's going to force everyone very, very close. No one's really going to be able to occupy a lot of the ground down in Quarry, and it'll be really interesting to see if the circle actually zones in there, how people are going to be able to try and breach those ramps and get down into the water, because it's such a tricky thing to do. There's so many open sightlines.
Yeah, I mean, this current position that Trevor Greta for a cow is holding is a little bit tricky, because once the circle does move away from them, they will have to leave the compound down there, and they'll be going into open ground, or they'll have to dip into the quarry itself, in which case you're going to come under fire from loops, you're going to come under fire from H1. If you're loops, however, I wouldn't be shooting at anything. If they have the information there are 3 teams surrounding them right now, I would want to say as low as possible. Throw some leaves over the top of myself, maybe put some camo face paint on as well, because I really do not want to reveal my position at all.
Oh, the name.